It's unfortunate that we started later than we anticipated or we planned, but we appreciate you for staying. I stand before you all with great respect and humility for your esteemed presence at this special occasion of the first edition of the Paul Sunday Achimugu'S CTG annual lecture series under the umbrella of the Paul and Mary Achimugu Foundation. This foundation was established in honor of my late father, Chief Dr. Paul Sunday Achimugu, a man who spent over 43 years of his life in the cotton, textile, and garment sector of Nigeria. His passion and zeal for the CTG sector were remarkable, extending even beyond that to beyond the commodity to employment, human development, and community service. Since its establishment, the PMA Foundation has been carrying out its legacies, first through collaboration with Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, where a professorial chair was established in the Department of Polymer and Textile Engineering to deepen the link of research to the CTG sector. Hence, within the foundation is a think tank group comprising of seasoned representatives from the CTG sector who will effectively integrate present and future research from the university and diffuse same among stakeholders within the value chain. The collaboration with ABU also provides scholarship to 5 undergraduate and/or graduate students and a cash prize for the best graduating student in the Department of Polymer and Textile Engineering. In addition, and in line with Chief Dr. Paul Sunday Achimugu'S human development passion, the foundation has partnered with the Iko Udama Club and Igala Socio-Cultural Association to sponsor 3 pupils from each local government area of Kogi East, from primary school level to the university level. The Paul and Mary Achimugu Foundation was launched on the 2nd of August 2021 here in Abuja. Therefore, we are effectively celebrating the foundation's first year anniversary. Today's Paul Sunday Achimugu'S CTG Lecture 2022 is organized by the Cotton, Textile, and Garment CTG Think Tank Group in collaboration with Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, with active support from Paul and Mary Achimugu Foundation. The PSA CTG Lecture Series is a product of a well-thought-out strategy to further the objectives of the CTG Think Tank Group in deliberately creating synergy amongst the sector players, as well as supporting the sustainable revival of this critical sector of Nigeria's economy. One prominent revival tool identified by the CTG think tank is the establishment of the CTG Development Council, and we are actively advocating for that. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me that there is a great task ahead of us stakeholders in this sector. Before late 90s, cotton was grown in abundance in Nigeria, and cotton being sold to the textile industries to produce garments that flooded our markets and those of other African countries. The CTG sector then was the second largest employer of labor after the federal government. However, this is no longer the case with the sector today. To the generations of 30 years of age and below, the success of the CTG sector in the past will sound like a fairy tale. Despite various government interventions, the sector is still at a staggered, snail-paced growth. While we will continue to acknowledge and appreciate the political will of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration, which gave a revival mandate to the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, who in turn, for the first time, pursued passionately the revival of the sector using the value chain approach. The deliberate efforts of the federal government through the CBN and its partners, Bank of Industry, Unity Bank, Keystone Banks, input suppliers, and service providers are indeed commendable and a step in the right direction. This must be encouraged to continue. Rome was not built in a day, as the saying goes. The industries within the value chain still face challenges of low or lack of access to electricity, high cost of alternative power, high cost of inputs, bad roads, outdated machinery and equipment, just to mention a few. all of which leads to high cost of production. Consequently, investors no longer consider Nigeria's CTG sector worthy of investment. The preferred choices are now Kenya, Ethiopia, Madagascar, to mention a few. Our country has now become only good for market purposes, where textile products from other African countries and Asia flood our markets. As long as we allow these conditions to persist, industrialization, job, and wealth creation will never be achieved except through our determined collective efforts. The topic of today's lecture, repositioning the cotton, textile, and garment sector as the engine of growth for the Nigerian economy, is apt, especially in light of the activation of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, which we must guide against becoming a dumping ground for textile products. And in addition, the selection of His Excellency Comrade Adams Aliu Oshomole as a guest speaker is spot on, and I'm optimistic that his paper will further lend a significant voice to the needed and critical rebirth of Nigeria's CTG sector. Once again, I welcome you all to this first PSA CTG Lecture 2022, and thank you most sincerely for honoring our invitation in spite of our national security challenges. Thank you all, and God bless you.